So we're about 2 months into 2024. So why not do my top 10 of 2023? 2023 was an interesting year for film. There was a lot of really good movies, a lot of movies that I enjoyed, a lot of movies that were very different from one another. Especially when you go down my top 10, you'll notice that a lot of movies are very different. They're not all like the same type of films. Um, but there were some movies that I had higher expectations for that didn't quite give me that fulfillment that I wanted. But regardless, those movies are still pretty good. We of course have to mention the honorable mentions before I actually get into my top 10. Um, these movies are really good movies. I think about them frequently, and I wish they could have made my list, but unfortunately, I just had 10 other movies that I liked more. Creed 3 is a great movie, a great directorial debut for Michael B. Jordan. And if the whole Jonathan Majors thing didn't happen, I think he would have been a real contender for supporting actor of the year. The Color Purple is an amazing adaptation of a really amazing movie, and the performances are all great. The music and the production is top tier, very well crafted. Air is probably one of the most underrated films of last year that could have been a prestige film. Um, Great performances, really great script, fun watch. And these other two I really enjoyed. I really like Leo. I thought it was probably the biggest surprise for me. Um, uh, and then, of course, I truly enjoy Fast X. I thought it was amazing, entertaining. Jason Momoa killed it. And I'm really excited for the last one. So, number 10. John Wick Chapter 4, to be the fourth film in a franchise and still be this innovative, this fun, and still have that same level of quality that the first movie and the second movie especially, to maintain that quality. I do believe the movie is a little bit long. There are some repetitive moments in the film, and the ending was a bit unexpected if we're going into it expecting this to be the last film. But overall, the action choreography was phenomenal. There was a lot of great moments in the film, especially that top-down fight sequence. That was freaking amazing, and some really creative moments. Number 9. Saltburn. I think this is a incredibly divisive movie, and I think it has a lot of flaws in it. But the way that this movie is shot, directed, I think Emerald Fennell is becoming one of my favorite directors going forward. She just has a really great eye for getting great performances from her cast, but definitely a very cinematic experience in all of her films, like from Promising Young Woman into Saltburn, and then just a production and set design. It created its own sort of realm that was real but unreachable. The performances from the cast was great. Rosamund Pike, Barry Keoghan, and Jacob Elordi both give really great performances. Just a really entertaining movie. While it was long, I was captured and enraptured with the stories and things that were happening on screen. M. Night Shyamalan's Knock at the Cabin Door. I think this was a really great return to form for Shyamalan, which he has been on a great streak as of lately, especially with all of his recent films. I think it was directed really well. There was a lot of suspense built, a lot of good mystery, great performances from the cast, and especially from Dave Bautista. I thought his performance was phenomenal, probably his best performance to date, and it shows his range as an actor and what he's become. But overall, I like the story and the messaging. Yes, it has the pitfalls of what Shyamalan's writing is, but I think it had a great message, great direction. There was a lot of things that I really enjoyed about this film. Number 7. So number 7 and 6 are probably interchangeable, but right now I feel like it's Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I think this is a phenomenal movie, a great successor to a film that was incredible and phenomenal to begin with. They upped the animation, they upped the production. The story was bigger than life. There was just so many moments in this film that was just truly brilliant and well done, but it took its time. It had these slow, quiet moments that were very intimate between Miles and his mom, between Gwen and her dad, but it really expanded the Spider-Verse universe, and I'm really looking forward to the next Beyond the Spider-Verse film. And once this whole trilogy is kind of set, this movie would probably be almost a near perfect film if it delivers on the same level of quality that this movie and the predecessor were. Number 6. The Boy and the Heron. This is a amazing return for Hayao Miyazaki, who is a master of animation. This is a story that's super personal, and it really shows that he takes a lot of moments from other works and maybe his life as well, and it truly culminates to a really great movie with great story, great animation, amazing voice acting, especially for the dub. Wonderful music. It is a bit of a slower burn as opposed to his other films where you kind of get the whimsical immediately. This one happens a little bit later throughout, but it is such a great movie. Number five. I wish this movie had come out a little bit earlier. And they did some pre-release screenings because this movie deserves the world. The Iron Claw. This movie is just phenomenal. From the directing, from the storytelling, the emotions, just a raw chemistry between the whole cast. You really feel for them. You feel like they're a family unit. You feel like they care for each other. They love each other. And then just tragedy after tragedy just goes on in their lives. And it's just heartbreaking to watch. But at the same time, it's just done with such genuine care and love for wrestling and this family and this story. Zac Efron's performance is probably his greatest performance to date. And he totally deserved an Oscar recognition, as well did the rest of the cast. This is a truly wonderful movie, and if you get a chance, please watch it. Number four. This is another movie that I wish has gotten a wider release and more exposure because it is a truly masterclass of fun and drama and just a rise of an empire and a fall. Blackberry totally steals the show, has some smart, sharp writing, really sleek direction, great performances from the cast. Yes, at times it does feel like a TV movie from the looks of it, but it's just a really well told story about a time where you thought this was bigger than anything and could never fall, and they did. They didn't listen to the trends. They didn't follow the hype, and ultimately the Roman Empire does fall. But it really took me back to those early days of the late 90s, early 2000s, where I really grew up and this type of technology was emerging. The Blackberry was like the hottest commodity, and then just overnight just died. And it's just a really well told story. It's funny, it's charming, there's a lot to enjoy. Three, The Holdovers. This movie is just incredible. It's a really warm watch. It's definitely a movie that feels like a hug and an embrace. I've seen it a couple times already. It is probably going to be a movie that I want to revisit every Christmas, along with like other Christmas staples. The performances by the cast, the writing. This is just a movie about flawed people trying to do good things, and they fall short, but their intentions are genuine. And this is just a really warm, inviting movie, and I just love it. It's just totally worth a watch. Number two, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Another movie that was overlooked and I wish got more attention. It did come out kind of towards the beginning of the strikes. Unfortunately, I didn't really cover it, but it's just a great movie, great humor, great story, amazing coming of age with wonderful performances by the entire cast. Rachel McAdams is really great in this movie. But it's funny, it's charming, it's just wonderful to watch and see like what girls have to deal with, and just the humor of growing up kind of comes with, but also some of the more deep involved stuff that happens along the way, especially when you have families that are a little bit more different in religion and you have a mixed background. But it's just so well told and it's really endearing. But my favorite movie of the year is Past Lives. This movie is incredible. It's a movie that resonated with me. It's the first movie I've given a 5 out of 5 in a very long time, and it just truly is a masterclass of filmmaking with raw emotions, just great dialogue, great writing, great performances from the whole cast. I mean, if we were talking about a performer that did get snubbed, Greta Lee definitely did, as well as Celine Song's direction. This movie deserves a world. It's just heartwarming. It's the what ifs that could have happened, and it really conceptualizes it in a way that is palatable, but it's a feeling that you can't really describe to people, but it you see it play out on screen. You see the what ifs that could have been, the longing, the yearning. It's just an incredible movie. Truly a masterclass of filmmaking and storytelling and performances all around. And that concludes my 2023 list. Some really good movies, but I am looking forward to 2024.